Map in front. So Pat, look, the map in front. What was it? The sun never set. The sun never set on the British Empire, and now the British Empire has come home to us. I mean, you're a minority, Pat, down there. Do you know what I mean? You're one of the hated minorities.
Well, I will tell you now, right? What I haven't looked into detail into this ONS figures, but from what I understand is white British people are now 36% in London. Is that correct?
It's a 36.7, I think.
Right. So the people I blame for this, I blame Nigel Farage, people like David Curtin, Heritage, Lawrence Fox, Reform UK, Richard Tice, Rebecca Jane, whatever her name is, UKIP. They are proud that they stopped the BNP who were trying to prevent this happening in a civilised and democratic way. And not only that, they are still enforcing this hatred for white people by banning ex-BNP members from joining their parties. Even John Lawrence, the leader of our party, the National Housing Party, and myself are banned from joining these anti-white parties because not only are we overflowing with immigrants in hotels, literally overflowing at the seams, like it is an absolute epidemic, those parties I just named still say we must have more immigration, controlled immigration, we must accept refugees. And these are the parties who are to blame because they were the ones who stopped the real party who could have made a difference, and then the BNP could have put pressure on the Lib Lab Con to have a stop immigration policy. But because Heritage, UKIP, Reform UK are still promoting points-based immigration and more refugees into the country, this mess is going to get even worse quicker.
So you trace this really back to when the BNP was becoming an electoral force, Pat, in the 2000s, and then it was basically taken apart by the establishment. As Nigel Farage said himself, he said his biggest achievement was breaking up the BNP. So, in your opinion, it was destroying that as an electoral force that allowed this to continue.
Exactly, and Farage was on today, and he's saying, oh, it's terrible what's happened. You're the one who bloody created it. And it just makes me sick when he's down at Dover. Oh, look at these thingies, this is terrible. He said he's proud he destroyed the thing that would have stopped it in a civilised and democratic way. And it's just unbelievable that people are still supporting these parties. People have got to join a proper party with a stop immigration policy, stop refugee policy, like the National Housing Party. There is one or two others out there, but the parties I just mentioned, they are anti-white parties because they still got policies who ban people who try to stop what's happening.
But Pat, is this not more of just like an internal sort of right-wing party argument? You know, is it not really that you know? I mean, I know what you're saying, and I'm very sympathetic to what you're saying, but like, do you honestly think like was it not? But then again, is it not just all part of a plan? Is this not part of a bigger plan, just to destroy this country? Like, no matter what happened, it just would have had to happen.
Well, personally, I think it's a lot to do with coincidence. It's a sort of pincer attack from communism and the banking system. The banking system want more and more people in the country to make money, and the false mortgage market keeps going up, and the communists want lots and lots of foreign people into the country to break down everything what makes a country strong, like Christianity and strong borders and strong families and things like that. So But we could have prevented this. Like, the BNP was in a position to do it, and Farage came along, promoted by the state, and all these other people, what's his name, David Curtin, all the people in UKIP now, Richard Tice, they're all like Farage people, and they all seem to think that.
But they're hurting tonight though, Pat. You know, Nigel's talking about this. They're saying it's not good. You know, are you not just being a bit harsh here? You know, these are mainstream figures. Nigel Farage can reach people. You know, he can reach that Middle England sort of Tory voter. You know, a gobby, you know, Cockney like yourself. You're not. How are you going to go down well in the shires? You know.
Why did he demonise, persecute, criminalise decent people who are trying to prevent what he's now crying about? And he still demonises them. They won't let any nationalists on the GB News. So I put a tweet out yesterday saying, how can Nigel Farage have John Bolton, the globalist warmonger, on his channel and claim to be anti-establishment? It's a laughing stock. And then people were saying to me, oh, you don't believe in free speech. You don't want John Bolton on there. I says, well, why doesn't Farage and GB News have some genuine nationalists on GB News?
But you know, it's okay, fine. I get this. There's a lot of anger amongst people on the right. Where do we go from here? Is there any going? Where do we go from here? Because we've got a Conservative Party that's just basically given up, and a Labour Party that's chomping at the bit to get in, and people are struggling. Where do we go from here?
I mean, the biggest contenders are the Reform UK, but they're just the same as the Conservative Party. They've got the same policies what the Conservative Party are trying to do now. They want points-based immigration. They're going to continue to accept refugees, and you can't control it. When are they going to get it in their thick heads that they need to stop all of it? We need to stop giving out citizenship. Look, UKIP had in their manifesto in black and white, we support the 1951 Refugee Convention, all the way up to the referendum. And I kept telling people, the dinghies are starting, this is how the people are going to get in our country now. And Farage, he won't admit it, that he's made a massive mistake by continually saying we must accept refugees. He still says it now.
Well, what's your policy then, Pat? What would you do if you were in charge tomorrow?
We need to leave the United Nations Refugee Convention. Then we need to pass a law to make it illegal to enter the UK on dinghies, a mandatory 3-year sentence. We would set a date in a year's time for the estimated 2 million illegals in this country to leave the country. If they leave by the date and they give their DNA, photograph and fingerprints as they leave an airport or a seaport, on condition they haven't committed a serious crime, they are free to go and banned for life. If they get caught coming in again, they're going to get 3 years. The people who don't take the amnesty, they will go to prison, do the 3 years, and they will stay in prison until they give their real identity and leave the country. Now, we'd have to build thousands of detention centres to deal with this problem, but eventually we will clear them out, and all those detention centres can be then turned into social housing for the estimated 1 million people in this country waiting for council flats now. That's our policy for the Dover situation.
What about overall immigration? You still going to allow people in, or is that stopping as well?
No. If people can go and look at the site, nationalhousingparty.uk, the immigration policies there, the refugees policy there. I've campaigned to stop permanent settlement immigration for 10 years. As people know, I was in the BNP since 2012, and we've got more or less the same policies. We do not need to give out UK passports to foreigners anymore. I don't understand why people think that we have to do that. We've let enough people into the country. Also, we need to ban foreign ownership of property, land and business, including the big football clubs. Also, people have been talking about all the hotels, all the government contracts that are given to the hotels for the dinghy divers. Now, a lot of them are foreigners, and our policy would cover that as well, because most of the English hotel owners, they don't want to give up their hotels for these people. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been told that a lot of the hotel owners who have agreed to the government contracts, they're foreigners, and foreigners should not be allowed to own property in this country, or business or land. That is our policy.
What are the chances of, as you say though, Pat, look, you can't even get on GB News. You're considered too toxic. I mean, and the left considers GB News this extreme right wing. Look, you're now a minority in your home city, right? You're a minority now in your own home city.
Yeah.
How is it possible to turn that around? Like when London is the seat of power, when London is where the action is, and white people are a hated minority.
Well, like I said before, there's an estimated 2 million illegals in this country. And once, look, we're never going to get into power, let's be honest about that. We're a pressure group, yeah? So we need to put pressure on the parties above us, which are UKIP, the semi-establishment parties, UKIP, Reform, what's the other one, Heritage and Reclaim, yeah? But you never know what's going to happen. Like, things are about to get serious. In the next 2 years, as you know, David, the economy could collapse at any moment. And people are, they're not trusting the mainstream politicians anymore, and anything can happen. But all I'm doing is I'm doing something rather than sitting about and moaning.
That's true. No, I know you are. You are.
I welcome the question, and we're starting to grow. And to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to do this because it was a bit of an accident how we started.
I appreciate you coming on. And
we're only 7 months old. We've got about 5 Twitter accounts. We've got a website. We've got quite a few members now. We've had 2 meetings in London, and we've got more meetings planned. And hopefully one day you'll speak at one of our meetings up north. You never know, we might get a branch in Scotland. But yeah, I mean, there is 1 or 2 other parties like ours. I'll say who it is. British Democrats, they got the same policies as ours. If people need to join either us or them, right, do not join Heritage, Reform or UKIP because they want more immigration and they want more refugees. Check their policies, because young Jack Thompson from UKIP, God bless his cotton socks, he keeps on biting at me on Twitter, and I've got to tell him his own manifesto to him, because I said to him, are you going to put a refugee in your house? And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, UKIP want more refugees. Oh, you're lying now. Show me where this is. And I had to take a screenshot and show him UKIP want true refugees, more like they're willing to take in true refugees, yeah? There's no housing. There's no school places, yeah? People who are saying this in their manifestos, they need to be taking them into their houses.
I mean, the thing is as well, Pat, looking at these maps, right, is there not a risk we are, and it is a balkanisation of this country? I mean, it's starting to look like the electoral maps in Northern Ireland. That's the thing about it. With basically people voting along racial lines. It used to be religious lines. Well, it is. It's a mixture of religious and racial. Is there not the risk of just pure balkanisation now? We had on Robin Tilbrook on Sunday night, and I didn't argue with him. I just stated the point. He believes in an independent England, but how could you have an independent England when you've got Manchester, Birmingham, London? These are completely, foreign countries inside part of your own country.
Well, I'm completely against the breakup of the United Kingdom. We're a unionist party, and to be honest with you, these anti-British parties, they're pushing an anti-white agenda because they're attacking everything British, and this is what the school teachers are doing to our kids to make them feel guilty for being white, and it's an absolute disgrace. But what I would say is our party, I've been out on a campaign knocking on doors, and I've had lots of Africans, Europeans, South Americans want to vote for us, and obviously they can join as well if they want to, because this housing crisis doesn't just affect the indigenous British people, it also affects every other ethnicity. And this is how we can win. And at the end of the day, David, I'll be perfectly honest with your audience, we might not be able to prevent the indigenous British becoming a minority in the whole of the UK. Yeah, we might not be able to prevent that. However, if we can't prevent that, what are we going to do? Just roll over and let the Lib Lab continue to control education, health and defence and things like that? We need to get them out, whether we're going to become a minority or not, because there's still going to be around 45 million indigenous UK citizens, if you get what I'm saying. So, they even said in England and Wales now, there's still 47 million indigenous population? Something like that. So there's a massive chunk of people there. That's more than the whole of Scandinavia, that amount of people. So it's not as bad. And to be honest with you, I thought it would be worse than what they said.
But this is just the official figures, though, Pat. That's the other thing as well. These These are the official figures. So what is the reality? And Pat, aside from that, and I point this out. Look, everyone's getting screwed regardless of race and religion. There's no harm in putting your own people first. But I want to talk about this. Like this is the Christian, right? Who identify themselves as no religion, right? And like you've got and I was really shocked by this. Now I've been very anti-Welsh recently, and I say that as a joke. But look at that in Glamorgan, Caerphilly, down where Cardiff and Swansea, like more than half. Like look at that, no religion, like. You see that, and the thing is, the only places with people who do have religious affiliation are in the Muslim areas. So we're de-Christianising as a country.
Well, our party is going to be pushing. We have quite a party to push to provide. We're starting a Bible study tomorrow night. NHP UK Bible. We'd love you if you do. Paul will be leading, and we need to get to the Bible. Simple as that. Our society is breaking down, and I wonder why all these sexuals in schools and that. It's because of the breakdown of Christianity. Is that every people know that you can lead it back to Christianity and the breakdown of Christianity. And I can't believe that I've become a practicing Christian, because I've only been doing it since 2016. Because most of my life I turned my back on it. I was out chasing women, going out getting loaded and whatever. And when you take Christianity out of society, why not do that? Who's telling you not to?
Yeah, and it is just frightening. Why no Odyssey? Yeah, there was a bit of a problem getting it set up. I do apologise, but we are here. We're on D Live. I mean, the established church thing is, can we even trust voting anymore? Look, Pat, you came on tonight. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. On the cuff. So I really appreciate that.
No problem.
Have you got anything else you'd like to say tonight, sir? Because I know you're passionate about this.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me on, Dave. And just please go and look at our website, nationalhousingparty.uk, or you can get me on Twitter at NHPUKofficial, or John Lawrence is at NHPUK leader. YouTube, NHPUK TV. Check us out, see what we're about. It's only 20 quid to join. Even if you just join, that's going to help us. And unfortunately, we do need money. And we're about to release our recruitment leaflet. We've got 20,000 leaflets we're going to be pumping out soon. And I'm sure you'll hear about it. I think I sent you a little practice one.
Yeah.
And it's all about housing. The house is the family as well. It's not just the house. Strong family. We need strong families and strong borders to save this nation. And we need to keep the United Kingdom together, Northern Ireland, Scotland, England and Wales. And I think we can do it. I really do.
We've got to keep fighting. We can't give up. Listen,
That's
Pat,
right.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate that tonight, sir. And keep doing what you're doing. All right.
Thank you. Cheers, Dave.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.